2023, I decided to upgrade my life and live alone for the first time. I was tired of sharing a room with my messy brother and the expensive rent in the center of Sao Paulo, draining my salary every month. I thought, I'll go to Osasco. It's on the outskirts, but close to the subway. I'll save some cash and live like a king. Little did I know that the rain would quickly turn into a nightmare. It all started with a marketplace ad that seemed too good to be true. Cozy apartment in Block D, 5th floor, unmissable price. It was like half of what I saw elsewhere. I called the realtor, a guy with a husky voice, like someone who smokes 2 packs a day. Is there something wrong with the place? Water damage? Noisy neighbor? He laughed, a dry laugh that echoed on the phone. Nah, buddy, it just needs a good clean. The owner wants to sell fast. Okay, I thought, must be an inheritance or something. I scheduled a visit on a rainy afternoon, the kind that leaves the sky lead gray and the humid air sticking to your skin. Arriving at the housing complex, I immediately felt the atmosphere. It was one of those 80s buildings, you know, square blocks, painted a faded beige that looked more like nicotine yellow. Dry trees stood around, like dead sentinels, and a wind howled through the open corridors. The smell? Old cigarette smoke mixed with mold and something else. Rotten, maybe. Everyone there seemed trapped in time. Old people on the balcony smoking, children running in patched clothes, and a silence broken only by the distant clatter of trains. The elevator was a relic. Doors that groaned like old bones, and a mechanical moan that sounded like muffled crying as it went up. I pressed the button for the 5th floor, the last one, and prayed it wouldn't stop halfway. Apartment 507 was simple. A tiny living room with a worn-out sofa that came included, a kitchen with cracked tiles, and a bedroom with a bed that creaked more than the elevator. But the price, the price was irresistible. I signed the contract right there, ignoring the realtor, averting his gaze when I asked about the history of the place. Nothing much, he said. Just old stories. Old stories. I laughed it off then. But today, I think I should have asked more. First night, I was exhausted from the move. Boxes scattered everywhere, dust in the air, the smell of fresh paint I'd used to cover the mold. I lay down early, lights off, only the street noise filtered by the thin windows. I fell asleep quickly, but woke up in the middle of the night to a sound that made no sense. Footsteps, light, rhythmic, like bare feet running, but they came from above, from the ceiling. My heart raced. Impossible, I thought. I was on the top floor. Above me, only the roof, which was locked and abandoned. The steps continued, pat, 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 from one side to the other, like a child playing tag, and then giggling, soft, innocent, echoing as if coming from a distant tunnel. I froze in bed, cold sweat trickling down my back. It must be an echo from the neighboring building, or wind on the tiles. I put on my headphones, loud rock music on Spotify to drown it out, and forced my eyes shut. But in the back of my mind, a little voice whispered, "This isn't normal." I woke up the next day with dark circles, blaming the stress. New house, adaptation, I told myself in the bathroom mirror, washing my face with cold water that came out brown from the old faucets. I went down to the corner market, bought coffee and bread, and chatted with an elderly neighbor in the elevator. She was short, with white hair tied in a bun, smelling of laundry powder. "Welcome, young man, but be careful at night here." I laughed. "Why? Ghosts?" She didn't laugh back. She just pursed her lips and got off on the 3rd floor. Okay, old people and their superstitions. But the second night confirmed it wasn't just imagination. Again, around 3 a.m., I looked at my cell phone clock blinking on the nightstand. A new noise. Scritch, scritch, like fingernails scratching the wall. Continuous, insistent, coming from inside the room, behind the bed. My whole body got goosebumps. I got up slowly, turned on the weak, naked bulb hanging from the ceiling. Nothing on the wall, just slightly peeling plaster. I pressed my ear against it. Scritch, scritch, louder, as if something was digging its way out. I hit it with my palm. "Hey, stop that." It stopped. For about 5 seconds. It came back. Slower, as if mocking me. I ran to the bathroom, locked the door, and sat on the toilet with the lights on until sunrise. Rats, I thought. It has to be rats in the walls. But deep down, I knew rats don't giggle. I started to investigate. I asked the janitor, a man about 60, grey mustache, uniform stained with grease, always with a cigarette hanging from his mouth. He was on the ground floor, fixing an outlet. "Hey, so João, I heard noises in my apartment. Footsteps on the ceiling, scratching. He put out his cigarette on the floor, spat. Block D, normal, son. Old building, everything echoes. I insisted, but it's on the top floor. He looked away, scratched his beard. Leave it alone. Don't mess with what you don't understand. And he changed the subject to the condo fee. I went to the neighbors. The lady in 501, Donna Maria, opened the door a crack. The noises? Everyone hears them, but no one talks about them. It's the girl, poor thing. What girl? She slammed the door in my face. That night, the dream started. I woke up sweating, my heart pounding. I dreamed of her, a little girl about 10 years old, long black hair plastered to her pale face, as if she had just emerged from a pool, or worse, drowned in a rain puddle. A dirty white dress, bare feet dripping water onto my bedroom floor. She didn't speak, She just stood in the corner, empty black eyes staring at me, as if asking for help or accusing me. I woke up screaming, fumbling for the light switch. The room was empty, but the floor was damp next to the bed. My sweat, I rationalized. But the scritch returned, more urgently. Days turned into weeks. Every night the ritual, footsteps at 2 a.m., giggling, scritch at 3 a.m. I started avoiding sleep, drinking strong coffee, watching Netflix until dawn. But sleep always comes, and with it, the dreams worsened. In one of them, she slowly approached, hand outstretched, long, dirty fingernails. "Help me," she whispered, her voice like the echo of falling water. I woke up with scratches on my arm, red, thin. Must have been me, rolling in bed, I told the mirror, but the marks itched as if they were real. One night, courageous or desperate, I went out into the hall at 3 a.m. The fluorescent lights buzzed, flickering like a horror movie. At the end of the hall, the door to 508, always locked, rusted chain, dust piled up, as if no one had entered for decades. But that night, light was leaking from underneath, yellow and flickering, like a candle. My stomach turned. I knocked slowly. Tock, tock. Nothing, but I felt a sudden coldness, like icy air leaking through the crack. Is anyone there? Silence. I ran back to my apartment, locked everything, and covered my head with the pillow. I asked the janitor again about 508. He sighed, lit another cigarette. Empty since 92. The Silva family lived there. They fought a lot. The father drank. The girl, Anna, fell from the window on a heavy rain day. Her body was in the courtyard, completely wet. They say it was suicide, but who knows? The parents disappeared later. Police investigated nothing. The apartment is cursed, son. Leave it alone. My blood ran cold. Anna, the girl in my dreams. I decided to prove to myself that I was crazy. I installed a night recording app on my cell phone, put it on a tripod pointed at the bedroom door. If it's real, I'll see it. I slept, or tried to. I woke up normally, but the video stopped exactly at 3:18 a.m. I watched it, trembling, in the dark living room. First few minutes, me snoring, the room quiet. At 3:17, the doorknob turned by itself. No visible hand. The door opened slowly, a soft creak. In the dark hallway, a small silhouette, long hair, standing still, looking directly at the camera. Static in the air, like interference. The video cut out. I replayed it 10 times, zooming in on the reflection in the window, eyes glowing in the dark. I threw the phone away, ran to the bathroom and threw up. After that, things escalated. I started finding things in the closet, which I swore I had emptied. Yellowed newspaper clippings from the 90s. The first, family disappears in Block D after inexplicable tragedy. Blurred photo of a man, woman, and child. Father accused of domestic violence. 10-year-old daughter found dead in courtyard. Another, girl jumps from 508 in Osasco. Suicide or accident? Report, it was pouring rain. Body wet, as if drowned on land. And the worst, last resident abandons Apt 507. The girl is still there, running on the ceiling, scratching the walls. Wet waiting. My apartment. I searched on Google, old Reddit and Orkut forums. Yes, I dug up old posts. Block D is haunted. Avoid the 5th floor. Spirit of a trapped child. One anonymous user. I lived in 507. I heard giggling, saw the door open. I left before she could get me. Theories spun in my head. Theory 1. Anna was a victim of abuse. Did the drunken father throw her out the window to cover it up? Did she jump to escape? The spirit seeks justice, scratching the walls as a sign of unresolved pain. Theory 2. Was the building built over an old cemetery? Rumors on paranormal sites. Osasco has a history of floods in the 90s, bodies washed away, or just collective trauma. Neighbors inventing things to explain structural noises. I couldn't take it anymore. One night, the scritch came loud in the living room. I got up with my cell phone flashlight, heart pounding. The closet door opened by itself. Inside, another clipping, recent. Beware of the scritch in Block D. I ran for the exit, but in the hall, the light in 508 was on again. I heard childish laughter, echoing. I flew down the stairs, skipping steps, ignoring the weeping elevator. 5 a.m., the street was empty and rainy. I grabbed a backpack with the essentials, clothes, wallet, phone, and called an Uber to a friend's house. I'm out, I texted the realtor. I never went back for the rest of my stuff. Today, years later, wait, it's 2025 now, right? I live in a modern apartment downtown. LED lights, normal neighbors. Therapy helped. Post-move stress trauma, says the psychologist. But when everything is quiet, especially at 3 a.m., I swear I hear it. Scritch, scritch on the wall, as if she followed me. Or maybe it's just my mind, echoing the past.